Hello everyone, welcome to EasyMed, and today we'll be learning about urea cycle. But before starting, let's know few basic things about urea. What actually is urea? Uh, Talking about urea, it is an organic compound. In fact, the first organic compound synthesized in laboratory, and its molecular formula is NH2CONH2. And among the two nitrogens, one nitrogen is derived from ammonia. Similarly, the other nitrogen is derived from aspartate amino acid, and the carbon and oxygen are actually derived from carbon dioxide. Talking about its synthesis, urea is actually synthesized in liver, and it's excreted via kidney in the form of the urine. Similarly, urea is also the final breakdown product of the protein metabolism. Now let's move on to the urea cycle. Urea cycle actually consists of 5 steps and 5 enzymes, and out of these 5 steps, 2 steps occur in mitochondria and the remaining 3 steps takes place in cytosol. And the first step is the formation of carbamyl phosphate with the help of ammonia, carbon dioxide, and two molecules of ATP in the presence of the enzyme carbamyl phosphate synthetase first, which is also the rate limiting enzyme of the urea cycle. And the byproducts of this step are ADP, inorganic phosphate, and hydrogen. Similarly, the second step is the formation of L-citrulline or levocitrulline. Carbamyl phosphate and levoornithine or L-ornithine react in the presence of the enzyme ornithine transcarbamylase to give the product L-citrulline, and the byproduct of this step is inorganic phosphate. After this, L-citrulline or levocitrulline is transported across the mitochondrial membrane with the help of a co-transporter, and it reaches cytosol. Then L-citrulline reacts with aspartate to form organosuccinate in the presence of the enzyme organosuccinate synthetase. As we have the synthetase enzyme, this step consumes ATP and gives AMP and PPI, that is pyrophosphate, as the byproduct. And similarly, the second nitrogen, or let's say the other nitrogen of the urea, is actually supplied by the aspartate amino acid or L-aspartate. And the fourth step is the formation of the arginine from the organosuccinate in the presence of enzyme organosuccinate lyase. This step also forms fumarate. And the fifth and the final step is the formation of urea. L-arginine or say levoarginine reacts with organase enzyme in the presence of water to give urea and L-ornithine, that is levoornithine. The urea which is formed actually diffuses to blood, and by the help of blood vessels it reaches to kidney and is excreted in the form of urine. Similarly, the formed L-ornithine is transported from cytosol to mitochondria with the help of a co-transporter, and then the ornithine again reacts with carbamyl phosphate and the cycle goes on and on. Now let's talk about its regulation. Since caramel phosphate synthetase first enzyme is the rate limiting enzyme, its regulation regulates the whole cycle. And there is a substance called as N-acetyl glutamate, abbreviated as NAG, and this compound is actually the allosteric activator of CPS first, that is carbamyl phosphate synthetase first. And since it is the allosteric activator of the carbamyl phosphate synthetase first, when the level of NAG, that is N-acetyl glutamate, are high, the synthesis of carbamyl phosphate synthetase will be more, and so will be the synthesis of carbamyl phosphate. And since urea cycle is an irreversible cycle, the more synthesis of urea will occur due to the increased production of carbamyl phosphate. Eh, Similarly, high protein diet is also found to regulate the levels of urea synthesis in our body. Actually, the high protein diet leads to increased urea synthesis because while we inhale high protein diet, the levels of arginine will rise in our body. As arginine is also a component of protein, its level will rise after the ingestion of high protein diet. And this arginine was actually found out to be the activator of the compound NAG, that is N-acetyl glutamate. And N-acetyl glutamate in turn is the activator of the rate limiting enzyme of the urea biosynthesis, that is caramel phosphate synthesis first. So the increased levels of arginine will eventually lead to the increased synthesis of urea in our body. Thanks for watching, guys.